Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fantasy Football Podcast. Washington Red Ronas. It's the Men of Honor. Your voice, as usual, is Dan Kinlan coming here a little bit louder than I think my next two guests. That's right. We got three. We got a bonus here. Three people. It's myself. It's Willie. It's Freddie. These are the owners of Maurice in a Fleece. Guys, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, Dan? Thanks for having us. Going? Yep, good to be here.
You know, it's the first time in a long time that we've had three people, so we're pretty sure the audio will make it. If it doesn't, then I guess the three of us are just going to enjoy more of the podcast than everybody else, guys.
That sounds good. You know what they say, not gay if it's in a three-way, right? So
I like three-way. This is my first time pretty much talking to you guys since, either some Skype from the draft, but, in terms of just, who you guys are, because a lot of guys in the league obviously know who you are. I don't. Some other guys don't. But, how long have you guys been doing fantasy football? I took a peek at, some of the manager page, but is it new? Is it old? What's up?
So the account we're playing on right now is my Yahoo account, but I've only had that for a few years now, and let
me jump in there because people may not know your voices, especially over the phone. So at least for the first bit, just introduce yourself when you talk.
Yeah, sure. This is Willie. I used to work with Tom Jack over at BB. Frederick's my younger brother. I roped him into this, but so I haven't been on Yahoo very long, but I've been playing fantasy football I think about 15 years. I remember picking LaDainian Tomlinson first overall and then wrecking people with him in his ridiculous 28 touchdown season. So it's been a while, but I've been jumping around to all sorts of different leagues and platforms and stuff. So. Yeah, so I'm Frederick, Willie's younger brother, as he said. I think I've been playing probably 12, 10 years. I'm pretty sure I got into it after I saw my brother was doing it, so I wanted to do what he was doing. So,
you probably wanted to beat him at what he does.
What was that? Sorry.
You probably wanted to beat him at what he does.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think at the beginning he probably was better than me, but recently, I don't know if that's been. Yeah, recent history has not been so kind to the older brother, that's for sure.
Well, you guys have teamed up here, and I know props to just coming into the league because obviously you're taking over a team you had nothing to do with. I have been a part of a kind of a team together on a different sport, not football, but how do you guys decide as co-owners? And you don't give us your entire strategy, but do you guys, does one person make a decision and then the other person makes the next decision? Do you guys talk about it? Do you guys have pretty much the same mind? How do you guys approach it?
It's funny, when Tom originally asked me to join the league and he told me, $250 buy-in, I was like, man, that's steep. I got to make sure I'm paying attention. And I thought, it would be cool to team up with my brother. I mean, I'll let him talk about the other leagues he's in. He's done this before for sure. But, we didn't really talk much about how we go about it. But so far it's been pretty casual. We just kind of, we'll mention something to the other person and they'll kind of give their take. And so far we haven't really disagreed too strongly on anything. So it's been pretty easy to just say oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go with it. Or I don't really like that. Let's hold off, stuff like that. So, yeah, I think one of the tough parts actually was during the draft because it was a day before our draft in our 16-team league where we're against each other, and I didn't want to give away too many of the people I was targeting to my brother, to Willie. But not only that, where we were drafting right next to each other too, so it was all the same players that we were looking at.
Damn. Okay.
But I think we decided before the season that if we disagreed on something, that we'd ask the Oracle, who is Kelly's now wife.
Oh, the Oracle.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Wow. I just call mine management. I go talk to management. You guys go talk to the Oracle. I think you got a better name.
But yeah, she if we ever disagreed on something, which we haven't yet, but she has final say. So. And she gets no context either, right? We'll just be like, hey, this name or this name, and she'll just pick, and we go with what the Oracle says.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So obviously new to the league. What do you think of the league? I was going to say, have you ever been to a 14-team league? But obviously you just mentioned you're currently in a 16, both of you. So is there anything weird that you see as an outsider? Not anymore, obviously, but, just a couple weeks in even that is maybe weird about our league, or that you like in our league, or you hate in our league more than you've ever seen, other leagues?
You want to go first, Ryan? Yeah, sure. So I think the different thing about this league, so I'm in a 16-team league. I'm also in a 20-team dynasty league, so I'm used to really deep leagues. But I think the thing about this league is the starting positions and bench positions, and that you're just starting so many more players. In our 16-team league, I'm pretty sure we own the same amount of people are owned, but we're just starting 3 more players in this league than we are in that league. So it's like the thin of your bench is you still have to start them, and I think that's something you have to get used to. But I think we're doing a pretty good job with that so far.
Yeah, it definitely is. I know there's been a lot of talk about potentially removing a flex spot. There's been pushback there. Some years there's been a lot of, thumbs up for it. Other years, but that's interesting to hear.
It's tough because in these bigger team leagues, the free agent pool is really brutal sometimes. I was looking to try to figure out if there's any flex players available, and the highest projected was 4 points. And it's okay, there's really not much there unless some big name injury happens. So that's part of the challenge of the bigger leagues. I think in this league compared to our 16-team league, we have the full point PPR instead of the half point, which kind of keeps these scores a lot lower than the other ones. We also don't have, but on the flip side, we don't have points per rush. So it's interesting. It's an interesting little tweak from what we're used to. But so far, it seems pretty okay. I think the one thing I will say is it seems like quarterbacks certainly carry the bulk of the weight. I mean, obviously you have some games where a flex player will go off, but quarterbacks can score a lot, especially with the 6 points per passing touchdown. I think we do 4, right, Frederick? Yeah. So we had to shrink down our QB strength because that was kind of outweighing the rest of the team. But honestly, the leagues are pretty similar in setup, so that was pretty cool.
Well, that's good. That's good. Always
a couple of smaller ones, the keeper. The one keeper is an interesting thing. That's been. We've actually started talking about that and draft pick trading and talking about how limiting the rounds you can trade and stuff like that. Because we have draft pick trading, but we kind of have a free for all, and it's a little unbalanced at this point. So,
well, just wait, Willie. Just wait until we get a couple weeks away. It's gonna start turning into frickin' Pompeii. Some people run for the hills and try to get rid of some picks while the others try to slug it out.
We already had one owner in our 16-team league sell pretty hard, and now he's got 3 first-round picks next year. And that was week 3? Yeah, it was after week 2. Granted, he traded his players to me and Frederick, so we're not splitting.
So you guys are all that's right.
I picked up Chris Carson and Evan Ingram.
Gotcha.
And I got Eckler and Robbie Anderson, but it was to replace Saquon Barkley. So
okay. Okay.
And mine was just to block Frederick from getting Chris Carson. So.
I like it. So you guys certainly seem like you have a little bit of knowledge, which is awesome. You probably wouldn't jump into a league like this if you didn't. So that's good to hear. But, turning to our actual league, was looking at your guys' team, this week. You guys have Dak. Dak won ankle Prescott.
We had Dak.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I haven't checked any kind of we're currently in waiver wires because of COVID land. But what's your plan moving forward? Did you see the injury live? What do you guys think of it? I don't even know what team you guys root for. So it looked to me like Gordon Hayward's injury, but Dak seemed to take it a little bit better. But what did you think?
I know Willie was a little bit busy driving back that day, so I don't think he saw it, but I definitely was watching live. I saw the play happen because the red zone was on it, and I was like, immediately when he was just sitting there, like holding his ankle, I was like, oh no, what just happened? And I don't know, it was pretty emotional to watch. I don't have any rooting interests. I'd probably actively root against the Cowboys, but yeah, it was pretty rough injury to watch, and it was tough.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not what we were hoping for. We were pretty high on Dak this year. I think we picked him pretty early.
Well, he was a great player for you guys. I mean, shoot, he was averaging over 400 yards passing, which again in our league gets you at least I think 4 to 6 bonus points. So. Yeah, for sure.
It's a big blow. I also don't enjoy the Cowboys. I know. Sorry, Tom Jack, but I wouldn't want to see him hurt, or Saquon go down. Like anytime like big impact players go down for a full season, it just kind of diminishes the whole thing. But
it does suck.
Strategy wise, we're looking at waiver wire. We're looking at possible trades. We're trying, gotta start a quarterback here this weekend, so gotta figure something out.
Fair point. Moving to a little bit of trivia. You guys come in the right place, the right time here for me to throw a little trivia at you. I know, like I said, I was pretty busy the week that I played you guys and couldn't get you on. So I'm glad you were able to do it this week, and apologies to Jed. I know I'm playing him this week, so maybe Jed will find you a spot somewhere. But this is the first time you guys are doing kind of quote unquote trivia, and I'll ask the question and kind of keep talking because then people at home can play too. But why don't you guys give me currently the top 5 players based on our league's rules? This does not include does not include quarterbacks. So you're looking at running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defenses, kickers. Give me the top 5 in no particular order. And again, for those playing at home, we'll see how good you guys do. Give me the top 5.
Let's see. I mean, Kamara's got to be on there, right? Like
Kamara's on there. That's a ding. You got one.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, let's see. You just had Mike Davis.
Mike Davis is not on there.
Okay. It's got to be like, let's see. I mean, Dalvin Cook, I know, is leading the league in touchdowns, so he might be up there.
Dalvin Cook is on there. 2 right, 1 strike. We're playing baseball rules. You get 3 strikes, and then I'm jumping in.
It's got to be a wide receiver that's been killing it too. I mean, I feel like most of the wide receivers have either been like they haven't had consistently good games. I mean, right? I mean, like Claypool just went off, but he wasn't really doing much. Yeah, I think the top 2 wide receivers might be like Hopkins or Metcalf. I don't know if they're top 5, right? Overall, Hopkins isn't a bad guess. Has he had a touchdown yet?
I got to push you for some answers. We can't be here all night, boys. What do you got?
I mean, let's try Hopkins then.
Hopkins is not in there. Strike 2.
Homer. I'm so tempted to just go look at this.
So, guys, I did not tell them I was going to do this, just so you guys are aware. But I'll give you a 10 count here. 9.
Is Carson up there?
Carson's in there. That's a ding. You got 3 out of 5 so far. Resets the clock. 10 seconds.
Are the last 2 just also running backs? There's got to be like a non-running back on that list, right?
5 seconds.
Oh, no.
3.
Metcalf.
Metcalf is not in there, boys. Sorry.
Okay.
The top 5 currently in our league in this order are, and again, not including quarterbacks.
Is Diggs on there?
He's not. Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Chris Carson.
All right, so five running backs.
5 out of 5. What makes it hilarious is that 6 and 7 are actually on your team. Mike Evans and Kareem Hunt. So Mike Evans is currently, based on our rules,
Mike Evans is the number 1 wide receiver in the league right now?
Currently right now. Based on our rules. Remember, it's a little different. We give some bonuses where some leagues don't.
But, you give bonuses for 2-yard touchdown passes?
Yeah, exactly.
We were joking before the last game that if he was just going to have 2 yards for a touchdown, and I think he
almost got another one.
2 yards, right? Yes, it was. I'm actually a Bucs fan, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I watch the games pretty closely.
Well, again,
you can't tell by the $3 things we have on our team.
Oh, I could kind of tell. But I didn't want to assume. Again, guys, maybe I should have said this towards the top of the podcast, but it's a little bit after 8 o'clock on Wednesday, the 14th. Waivers are kind of weird because of COVID. I hate continuously bringing up COVID because it's literally on everybody's mind, almost every conversation of the day. If you guys want to talk about COVID, we can, because waivers haven't gone through. I'll skip that. But if you want to talk about COVID, go ahead. If you guys want to move on, we can move on. Up to you guys. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, it's the elephant in the room, right?
It is.
You can't not talk about it. I mean, I just watched my Bills get trounced on Tuesday Night Football because of COVID. They didn't know if they were going to be playing the Titans or they were on Tuesday or the Chiefs on Thursday, right? It's kind of wild. It certainly brings a weird extra element of strategy and stress to fantasy football, which makes it a little more difficult to get through. Yeah, but I mean, I'm genuinely worried that the season's not going to go through. I mean, if they were, I don't know, this is my opinion, but if the NFL were smart from the get-go, they would have put a couple of, pushing weeks in the schedule, because the domino effect of moving games around is going to eventually cause too many problems to continue. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I bet we probably go into March. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
You speak of randomness, and that is certainly something that has come to play. And I know you guys may not get this, but I can't even imagine how angry David Seitz is right now, boys, in terms of his randomness. So, it's something you can't control, but it's something we all have to deal with. So,
yeah.
So far, it's been fine.
Every year you have the big injuries that blow up someone's draft, but this year it's a whole team is, in my other league I had Carson and Connor both on surprise buy, and I was like, cool, I guess I have no running backs.
Yeah.
So Henry and Connor, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it happens, and it's going to continue to happen. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Definitely.
We got to give a little Survivor update. I know that you guys are not in our Survivor league, but we gotta give the people what they want. Quick update. We had 7 people come into this week, and 5 out of 7 advance. Barry and Steve are out after picking the Chiefs and Niners respectively. We have 5 people left, and this is where we clap it up for Tom. His team name was what was it? Let's see. Only goal was to make it past week 5. Well, Tom, you've made it. You've made it past week 5. So congrats to you. The only people that remain are Justin, Tom, Marvin, Drew, and myself. So 5 remain after 5 weeks. So we'll see where that goes. You guys ever play Survivor Football?
I have a few years. I actually did it successfully one year, all 17 weeks.
Really?
Yes.
What year was that?
Was that in the big ESPN group or whatever? Yeah, it was.
Do you remember what year?
Maybe 2017, 2016, around there somewhere. Okay. I think.
If you can look.
What was that? Sorry.
If you could look that up and shoot that out into the group text, I think that'd be pretty awesome. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I could try to find it. I remember the year before I went 16 for 17. I lost in like week 3, but then kept it on. And then the next year I went 17 for 17, and I was like, oh shit, it's doing pretty well.
Well,
but
shit, man.
17 for 17 and got nothing for it, and I was like, this is kind of lame.
Well, then I'm happy you're not in the league then. Shoot, damn. Okay, how about it?
Yeah, you should have hopped in on that verdict. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I've given everybody who's been on this podcast a little bit of time to, kind of talk about whatever you want. It was colloquially named the Commissioner's Corner. We always give Marvin a chance to throw a few minutes at the group. I don't know if you guys want to talk about one thing in particular together, or if you each want, say 3 minutes to yourself, but, talk about whatever you want right now. Will, why don't you go first?
All right. I can talk about how it's weird to see the Bills actually being competitive. It does not fill me with confidence, that's for sure, especially after last night. But part of the reason I'm hesitant and not trying to get excited because we already talked about COVID. The Bills come out to a huge start, and then if the season doesn't end, I'm going to be crushed. It would be kind of poetic for a Bills fan to go through that. So, it's been nice having football back. I was really worried that the season wasn't going to happen. I'm still worried that I don't know. I get freaked out every time I see fans in the stands for sure. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say. I think the league's been fun so far.
Well, let me interrupt you right there then, because before I give it to you, Freddie, in terms of that Bills and Titans game last night, I heard a stat today that I thought was bananas. In the last 14 starts, Mahomes has 28 touchdowns, which is second in the league to only Ryan Tannehill.
Jeez. Yeah, he looked like we made him look like otherworldly last night. He could do no wrong. It's a lot easier when you're getting the ball in instant red zone opportunities multiple times a game, but
I think it's Derrick Henry. They had the ball. They had the ball for 5 to 6 minute clips. The defense gets tired, and Ryan Tannehill just picks them apart. I think that's a good formula.
Yeah, I was listening to the ESPN Fantasy Football podcast today, and they're saying how since Tannehill took over Week 7 last year, he's the number 3 quarterback in fantasy football behind Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott.
There you go.
And it's Tannehill.
There you go.
He's been pretty good for them.
There you go.
Yeah, what a revival story for him, huh? Turns out once you get away from Miami, you're fine. No, you just got to get away from Adam Gase.
I was about to say his last coach was Adam Gase. Robbie Anderson's pretty pumped about that, and Le'Veon Bell will be mentioned later on in this podcast. But just get away from Adam Gase, and you're fine.
I was pretty happy to see him go from one AFC East team to another. Not gonna lie.
Without a doubt. Guys, we're going to jump into some of the matchups in a minute, but, we had that trade last night that was vetoed. Props to Mace for being a gentleman.
Wait, do I not get my time to
Hey, get in there, Freddie. Let's do it.
Because I wanted to trash talk the league for a little bit.
Hey, get at it. Uh-oh, here we go.
He's not in the group chat, but he wants to smack a little bit. Well, I just wanted to say that even with the Dak injury and Chase Claypool on our bench, we still scored more than any other team in the league last week. And if we had started Chase Claypool, we'd be the number 1 scorer in the league. So, also true. Even though we're only 3-2 right now, I feel like you guys got to step it up and not let newbies in your league.
All right, well, Freddie, 2 things. If if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, and the fact that I also have the most points against right now. So if I have a little bit of a different schedule, you and I might have the same thing here. I don't think I'd be 2-3. So I hear you, but Fantasy Fickle.
Wait, which team are you? I'm trying to look down the standings. You must be pretty far. down there.
Don't look too further than halfway down. I'm ninth, vaccinated from losing.
Okay. Got it.
So,
yeah, I see you now. There it is.
Fantasy football is a fickle bitch, I tell you what. But the smack talk is always welcome. The fact that I didn't know that you weren't in the group chat. We got to do something about that.
I mean, the way my brother describes the group chat and constant text, I feel like I'm fine with not being in it. You don't want to get spammed by all the auto responses when someone likes a comment. It's fucking great.
Look, there are worse things in the world, but I do understand why you wouldn't want that.
Hey, for a little smack talk, you guys can get on a different, chat service or something that actually works, unlike texting.
Yeah, we
Discord, or Facebook Messenger or something.
We could get on Slack too. We could do that.
Yeah, exactly. We actually set up the whole Discord server for our league this year and set up all different division smack talk channels and trade block chat and rules committee chat and stuff. It's been working out pretty well so far.
Freddie, have you had enough sticking the knife and twisting it a little bit, or do you need another minute or five? How you feeling?
No, I mean, you still, even without the Chase Claypool, we're still the second highest scorer in the league right now. So. Just saying,
pride always comes before the fall.
Points this week, and we don't even have a quarterback in. So
you hear that?
We'll get to that later when we're doing our picks.
We will. You hear that, boys? A lot of smack talk from some of the quote unquote newcomers.
Man, Karma's gonna come back to bite us real fast. Pretty sure our whole team just tore their ACL.
Well, let's chat about those matchups. Usually I will be the one to kind of jump in with the other quote unquote co-host that I usually have, but I kind of want to see you two, kind of evaluated. I always love having, again, I'll put the term new blood, but you guys have obviously, what you're talking about, what you're doing. So it's not new blood; it's just new blood to the Men of Honor League here. But we're gonna start with Big Dick Brady again. Drew, I have questions, but maybe you can give answers later about the team name. Against Gronk, Love 2 Girls 1 Cup. I actually understand that one. It's got some social history to it. But Willie, why don't you start off with Big Dick Brady, and Freddie, why don't you come in after?
Sounds good. I mean, looking at this matchup, the dick for Brady's been a little limp this year. I think he's the lowest scorer of the season. Yeah, right down there at the bottom. To be honest, I don't see it getting much better this year. I mean, AJ Green, I drafted in another league. He's been a big disappointment. Seems like the new quarterback hasn't really been looking his way. Fournette, I don't even know if he's going to get any touches. Peterson, I mean, that guy, he never stops running. Him and Frank Gore are the infinite ones. But looking over at Gronk, at T-Mac's team, we'll call it that. I love Watson this year. I think he's bound to get a few big weeks here soon. I know he's had a tough schedule to start the season. Cooper Kupp's always good. Kenny Galladay has only been on the field 1 week, but he had a touchdown. So, and I think Cook is Dalvin out this week, or is he questionable? I mean,
Dalvin Cook will not be playing this week, so that is something that certainly gives probably T-Mac's team a bump.
Yeah.
A bump.
But on the other side, I guess I just read a few minutes ago that Melvin Gordon might be out too because he, I guess, got pulled over for a DUI.
That he did. If you guys didn't know, he was pulled over for a DUI going anywhere from 25 to 40 miles an hour over the speed limit. He was supposed to be playing, and they had a week off. They gave him 2 days, and he decided to party. So I can't remember who has Philip Lindsay. Maybe we'll look it up here while you guys are chatting.
It's on Big Dick Brady's team. That's why I bring it up. So he's got him in there. Could be an interesting sneaky pick, but. Yeah, overall, I think T-Mac's team's got the edge this week. I mean, he's projected to win by 11. He doesn't even have a defense in. So
there you go. What do you think, Freddie?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the Gronk team is much better all around in almost every position. Looking at it, other than tight end, I feel like Robinson's a great pickup this year. I traded him in another league. Yeah, I was going to say, you traded him away. How'd that go? I traded him and a wide receiver for Cortland Sutton, and because I was sitting there like, okay, I have Hunt, I have Saquon Barkley, I have David Johnson. I'm cool with my running backs, and then that week, both Barkley and Sutton tore their ACL out for the year.
Well,
Robinson puts up 30 points the next Thursday. I'm like, oh, great, that was a fucking fantastic trade.
that does sound awful, but I can literally hear my brother Barry, as well as Big Cat, maybe some others, saying, Dan, how could you let them talk about their quote unquote other leagues so long? How can you let them do that? So I got to come in here. I got to stomp the candle out. But
fair enough.
What I would ask you guys, I'm hearing AJ Green may not play this week, who again is another wide receiver for Big Dick Brady. He hurt his hamstring and had to be pulled. Have you guys heard anything on that?
No, I mean, I've been distanced myself from AJ in other places. I won't mention leagues, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear he hasn't had much of a connection with the young quarterback. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if it's just different connections with different receivers. But I don't know. I'm pretty low on him for sure. Yeah, I mean, even if he's healthy, I don't even think he's the number 2 wide receiver anymore. I think that's.
I agree. So. Yeah, I agree. Well, it sounds like it's a 3 for 3. We're all taking T-Mac.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, we got a next matchup here. Won't Let You Down, Miss Jackson versus Justin's Assemble. And again, I think he thinks he's an Avenger. But he's 4-0, and I don't like it.
5-0.
Is he 5-0? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That hasn't updated while I look at the stats here. Freddie, why don't you start with Mace's team here? Won't let you down, Miss Jackson.
Well, so it's a first and second battle, 5-0 versus 4-1, so it's pretty important.
Big spread, though.
Yeah, I think it's because Mason's got his number 1 player in fantasy on a bye. So that's not the best when you're playing a 5-0 team.
So Justin's the luckiest player in our league? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Mason's also doesn't have Josh Jackson or Justin Jackson. No, that's Josh Jackson. Never mind. I was going to make a joke about Justin's, but
well, Justin Jefferson is on Justin's team, hence the Justin's Assemble.
Yes. But yeah, I feel like without Kamara, I don't know if Mason stands much of a chance this week, especially with losing Bell now, too. So he doesn't even have a replacement to put in for that. So unless Robert Tonyan gets another 3 touchdowns, I think it's going to be a pretty easy 6-0 for the Justin Assembles team. But I can't believe you guys didn't mention the most important Justin. It's Tucker. Come on. Look at that projection, 11.39 points. Holy shit.
Well, if you do look at Justin Horn's avatar, it is all 3 Justins.
Right
and the kicker is the kicker.
Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker's got the biggest. Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed, to tell you the truth. We're currently sitting at a 50-point difference, and I know obviously Mace is going to put some guys in his lineup, but do you guys have anything else to talk about here? I mean,
Justin Tucker is projected to score more points than everyone on the other team except for Lamar Jackson.
Wow, that's a board bet. Damn. Wow, that's interesting.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Justin, the owner, might have had a lucky season, but looking at his squad, it's pretty strong. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even put in Chris Godwin yet. He's going to play this week, so Jesus.
That's a good point.
And he's missing Metcalf this week on the bye. Like, his team's pretty good. It's pretty stacked.
It is pretty stacked. 3 for 3 again. I think we're taking Justin, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Mason.
I'm not sorry. He wins a lot. Next matchup, Mr. Jones is Freak Shark versus Real Mosterts. I think we're getting into well, I don't know. I'll let you guys again, kind of take it away. Willie, why don't you start with my brother's team, Mr. Jones is Freak Shark.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny. I was seeing that projection for Tannehill, and I was balking at it, and I was like, "That's pretty high." And then my brother's laying down some mad stats around Mr. Ryan Tannehill, so I guess it's got to be pretty legit. Yeah, I mean, I think I give the slight edge here. I mean, the points are big, but I think it's actually closer than it looks. But I do give it to Barry. I mean, Tyreek, he's got a decent projection, but he could go off at any time. James Conner, same thing. I'm interested. To be honest, Kansas City's defense could be a sneaky pick after watching the Bills last night, but maybe I'm just
you might be too close. Yeah, you might be too close to the fire there to make a real pick.
Might be. I'm gonna put whole leg in the fire, but yeah. I mean, looking at the Mostert's team, obviously Mostert is solid. Jonathan Taylor's been strong for his rookie season, so the running back core is pretty nice. But there's a couple of Bird and McFarland. Don't really love those starts, but I don't see anybody on the bench because he's got 3 buys and 2 IRs and a third quarterback, which you can't start. So, there's not many options this week for Chris, unfortunately. So I'll go with Barry's team.
What do you got here, Freddie?
Well, I'm looking at the quarterbacks on both these teams and thinking maybe we could trade with one of them. So,
always thinking, I like it.
And then 3 quarterbacks on the other one. So, if you guys are interested, reach out to us. Yeah, that's right.
Just wait till
just shameless plugging of our own team.
just wait till the next matchup. You'll see some more quarterbacks, but we'll get there. Freddie, what do you think of this matchup here? You think the same?
Yeah, I like Barry's team too as well. I just think that there's more higher floor for all of his players than there are on the other side. Like Bird and McFarland and even Duke Johnson, they could put up very low scores and might just crater the team.
So again, that's David Johnson, but I see what you're saying.
David Johnson?
But you're not wrong. Okay. If David Johnson doesn't get a touchdown, this thing could get real ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is ever.
Tom Brady's gonna have a big week this week, so as long as he's throwing all those 2-yard touchdowns to Mike Evans, that's all that matters.
Well, I don't think this has ever happened, but we continue to go 3-0 here altogether. I would take Barry's team too, barring some crazy injury, but I think he may even get Corey Davis back. So, I mean, this could get even worse.
Yep.
All right, next matchup is Vaccinated from Losing. That's my team. Versus Drop Jed Gorgeous. And again, Jed, I do have to give my apologies to you that you're not on this podcast, but I'm sure that you'll be able to forgive me based on who I'm going to be able to put in my roster this week. But I did get a new running back that I've been sitting on my bench for a while. Freddie, why don't you start with this one?
So you're without Jacobs and Carson. That's a little rough.
Correct.
But are you starting P. Ryan this week?
I am.
That should be interesting. I don't know how good he's going to be.
Hey, I'll take opportunity over talent.
Yeah, that's true. But how good of an opportunity is it in an Adam Gase offense? Other than what's his name, Crowder, I don't think anyone's worth starting in that team. But
you're not wrong.
I'm looking at the other team and Mike Davis, Miles Sanders, Robbie Anderson, Mari Cooper, there's Duke Johnson. I don't know. I think if you were fully not on bye weeks, I think you would have had a shot. But I like Jed's team here. Yeah, I mean, you're losing 3 important players: Herbert, Jacobs, and Carson. So, are you even going to start anyone in the Carson slot? Or?
I don't know. There's always I've played this strategy before where I try to correlate my bye weeks, so that way I just lose, maybe 1 week versus maybe 2 to 3. And I really went for it this year with these guys. So this was always something, and I even told Jed at the draft that he was probably going to get a win here in in week 6. So I mean, I'm likely to go 2 and 4, but Willie, tell me I have a shot. Tell me there's a world where I can win.
Let's put on our glass half full cap here. I mean, what you need is you need Pirine to be the next coming of whoever your favorite Jets running back is.
Curtis Marvin's favored Martin.
Yeah, perfect. You need a shootout in the Dallas Arizona game. Although Kyler Murray on the other side and Amari Cooper on the other side makes that pretty hard to do. But maybe Larry wakes up for a couple of touchdowns. Maybe even that doesn't help you. You got freaking Murray on the other side, so that doesn't really help you that much.
Yeah, there's no real world where I can win here. I would need an injury, and I don't ever root for injuries. So
maybe if like Blankenship kicks like 10 field goals or something and sets a record. But yeah, it's a tall order. He still doesn't even have a defense in there yet, so that could get even worse. Are you planning on going with Dallas defense in your starting lineup?
I'm actually not. That one I will switch out. I can't have too many. I can't have too many players, but it is waiver night, so we'll see.
Yeah. True. I will say an interesting thing about Calvin Ridley is he started off the year hot, but I don't think Matt Ryan's thrown a passing touchdown since the first quarter of week 3, so maybe better days are ahead of him for him. So
I think
he makes that maybe.
Maybe Calvin Ridley's better when Julio's on the field, and I don't think Julio's on the field this week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to go with Jed too. I don't know if you're going to pick against yourself, but
no, I am. This is one of the few times I will pick against myself. Yeah. I picked against myself 7 weeks ago in preparation for this day. So
that's right. I didn't realize you're both starting Jets running backs. That's right.
Oh my gosh, he does have Frank Gore. Jed, we got to talk, man.
Who do you like, Gore or Pirine?
I like Pirine because Gase said he was going to give him the brunt of the work, but we all know how that works,
Mm-hmm.
But Jed, we got to talk. Maybe we do a little bet on that.
That's right.
All right.
Well, Jet.
Good for you, Jed. You got the win again, all 3, I think. Wow, the first 4 matchups all seem to be blowouts. Let's see if we can get something closer here with Yahtzee versus Big Waller Brand. And I don't know, Willie, why don't you start it off? How do you think of Yahtzee, Big Cat's team?
I looked at Marvin's team here, and I'm actually very surprised he's 2-3. I have to look at let's take a look at the old. He's got 596 points scored against him. That's tops in the league. So he's as much as us. That's true. It's like he's played us every week, but not quite.
Wow, he's 2 points ahead of me. So let's keep it tight. Keep it right.
three losses in a row. So I don't know. When I looked at this first off, I looked at his players and I was like, shit, how's this team 2-3? He's probably feeling the same thing. So. I lean towards Marvin's team. I mean, Roethlisberger obviously can throw a ton. Devontae Adams is going to be back, but Marvin's got Rodgers, so kind of negates that advantage a little bit. I don't love James White. Don't love Johnny Smith. I don't even really believe in the Mike Gesicki train that was running earlier this season. So yeah, I'll lean towards Marvin. Assuming he can find a tight end.
Yeah, again, so just so everyone's aware, this is one of the closer matchups here. It's currently a 13-point spread with Marvin being the favorite. Again, it's tougher to do this because of COVID. It usually delays us. We would have had the waivers and people would have put people in their lineups. But, it is a 13-point spread. Marvin currently the favorite. Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Marvin's team a lot, actually, looking at it. I mean, I like Crowder. He's been really good. His running backs, Mixon and Jones, are pretty enviable, too. I mean, he's missing Waller, but on the other side, they don't have Tyler Lockett, so I feel like that's a pretty even bye-week missingness there. I mean, I think it's a close matchup. I mean, Devontae Adams, if he comes back and scores a lot of points and kind of lowers the advantage of Aaron Rodgers versus Roethlisberger. I think Gurley has been scoring some touchdowns lately. I mean, Smith has been one of the best tight ends this year, I'm pretty sure, in fantasy. I mean, he's got, 5 touchdowns so far in 4 games? Like, yeah. And I don't know. I like the Darnell Mooney pick too. I think he could any day these weeks, anytime in these upcoming weeks, he could blow up for a 2 long touchdowns in a game. So, yeah, I think I lean towards Marvin, but I think it's going to be very close. It might depend on the health of Deontay Johnson a little bit too.
Yeah, from what I hear, he's relatively healthy. I actually think Big Cat Yahtzee is going to take this one. I think Todd Gurley's going to run all day over Minnesota, and if Devontae Adams can limit, as you said, Freddie, Aaron Rodgers, that's huge because it's kind of a high point total for Aaron Rodgers. And Joe Mixon flip a coin on whether or not he's going to be good or not. So.
Yeah, that's true. Indy's defense has looked real good this year.
Yeah, so I'm going with Yahtzee.
He's just doing it to differ from us.
Yeah. Next match.
It's okay to be wrong.
Well, it is what it is. It is what it is here. Next matchup: Jake from State Farm versus CD's Nuts. Currently, again, one of the closer matchups, about 6 points currently for the spread. And, everybody else besides you two has heard, what I think about the Yahoo spreads. But this is one of the matchups that doesn't have mostly – I don't think they have any buys. So these teams look to be pretty full strength. So, Freddie, why don't you start with Jake from State Farm?
Yeah, I like to look at his team. The wide receivers, I think any of them could have good games, could get touchdowns at any given time. I think that's – and, Kittle, he's one of the best, if not the best tight ends in the league. And Elliott is just, stud. Obviously, he was in the top 5 earlier. So, all around, that's a really great team. I think Minshew is a pretty good fantasy quarterback. On the other side – that team 1-4. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. On the other side, they're blocking 3 tight ends in the starting lineup right now. Which,
should that be illegal?
Tight end attack, man. But I like them too. I'm not a big fan of Kenyon Drake. I think our guy Chase Edmonds has been better this year and will continue to get more and more touches, hopefully. But the 3 wide receivers I like a lot. Although maybe CD Lamb loses a little bit of value now that Dak's out. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Jake from State Farm for the. It's not an upset versus projection, but based on the records, it's an upset. So, yeah, I just think that there's a really high floor for that team and potential for breakouts from basically any player that I'm looking at right now. He doesn't even have a kicker, and he's projected to win.
Yeah, I think CD's Nuts, which is LJ. He should rename his team Dynamite because every single one of the players on his team could blow up for anywhere from 15 to 25 fantasy points a week. It's actually bananas. What I'm looking at here. Even fucking Greg the Leg Zerland could probably do that. But
13.8 last week.
Exactly, and I guess I hesitate to be contrarian, but I like the matchups. I'm going to take CD's Nuts.
It's funny. I was thinking about it too. I really like his core of Hopkins, Diggs, and you're right, Frederick. CD might get a drop now that Dalton's in there instead of Dak. I was a big Gallup fan before the season started. It's been tough to see CD kind of come in and take over the attentions, but I also just realized I didn't realize that Steve's got Melvin Gordon on the bench as well.
Yeah,
that's a running back freaking core right there. Holy crap!
Well, he's currently too drunk to run, so he'll probably stay there.
Yeah, exactly. But Yeah, I think I'll go with you, Dan. I'll take the upset just to keep it fresh.
There we go.
Give me the nuts. Give me a big mouthful of nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Moving on, last matchup of the week. I got to make it the guests here. It's my Homelander for Prez versus Maurice in a fleece. Guys, I'd be remiss, but start it up. You got to do it. What do you think? What do you think of what's going on here? Currently a 5-point spread and not in your favor.
Not in our favor, but we don't have a quarterback in. It turns out quarterbacks score a lot of points. So, obviously, we're confident. We're chilling in our fleece. It's starting to get a little cold out there. Fleece is going to keep us warm. Shout out to our buddy Adam who photoshopped this fantastic picture, by the way. But yeah, I like our lineup. I like the look of our matchups this week. I think Mike Evans is going to have a big game. I think Claypool obviously won't repeat what he did last week, but I think now that Roethlisberger knows what he can do and shows that he can get open, like, honestly, I'm mostly scared about Mahomes. I gotta hope that my Bills can keep him in check a little bit. Speaking of players that can blow up at any time, but there's not much else on the other side I'm too worried about. I think a lot of these projections, I don't know, Gaskin projected to get 11 seems high to me. But yeah, I don't know. I think we'll take down another W, move into second place once the second place team loses to the first place team. So
confidence is key. Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, when I looked at the projections, I was like, oh, we're playing some junk team, I guess, again. But looking at the team, I'm surprised they're projected to score so low. Like, I like Thielen, I like Robinson, I like Boyd. And even like their flex plays of Gallup and Brown aren't bad. But yeah, I think we got a huge advantage in running back. Hunt and CEH are miles better than Gaskin and McKinnon, I think. And I think some of our projections with like Edelman and Claypool might be a little low. We'll see if Claypool can be maybe like a wide receiver 2 value or wide receiver 3 type deal. I don't expect him to put up 4 touchdowns every week. But yeah, I'm confident. We'll find a quarterback to put in there. But yeah, I like our team. I think it's gotten better over the past few weeks with maybe the Chubb injury making Hunt better and Edmonds kind of breaking out a little bit. And there's actually some sign of life from Cooks. So, like, yeah, that was wild last week for sure.
Well, there's certainly a world where your tight end, Mark Andrews, the other flex, Brandon Cooks, other flex, Chase Edmonds, and the Tampa Bay defense against Green Bay, they all score very poorly. And that world is real, and it's very close to it. Again, I would never root against you. I think that there's a lot of hit or miss on both sides of this ball here. Be interesting to see who you pick for quarterback. I haven't needed to look to see who's on the waiver wire. You guys both think you're going to win, though?
Of course. What kind of pick? Who would pick against themselves?
One who has.
I don't have to start T.Y. Hilton. Who would do that?
Someone who has both running back. Somebody who has both running backs on bye would pick against themselves. But it's a coin flip. You know what? Patrick Mahomes goes for 5 touchdowns against your Bills and wins.
Oh God!
You got this, Tom.
Oh, is that Tom Jackson's team?
Oh, it is.
Oh man! Okay, we're definitely gonna
win. Well, guys, that kind of gets to the end of the podcast. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to add?
I am a little sad we didn't get to the favorite crazy memory because that one's in my favor. But
hey, do it. No, hey, do it. No, do it now. Do it. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I'll let Frederick explain it because he was at the poor end of it. You know which one I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So I think it was a Sunday night game, and I was playing my brother, and I think I was up by a lot, and he had Larry Fitzgerald and Alex Smith, and it was Arizona versus San Francisco. And it was the end of the game. I was still up, and Arizona was driving to try to tie or go ahead, and they kept throwing it to Larry Fitzgerald, to my chagrin, and they got in the red zone, and on either a third down or a fourth down play, they threw it to Fitzgerald, and he was stopped short of the first down in the goal line, and they turned it over on downs. And so we were, at this point, I think it was pre-laptop and smartphones, so we were running back and forth between Willie's rooms checking the scores, and after that catch and turnover on downs, we ran back to check the score, and it was tied exactly. We had the exact same point total against each other, and I was like, fuck. But then I realized in my head, oh, Alex Smith is going to kneel it, so you're going to lose 0.1 points for the rushing yard. That he kneeled it. So we ran back in to check out what happened, and the game was over. And they're rushing out to the field, shaking hands and stuff. We're like, what happened, Mom? And they're like, oh, nothing. I kneeled it out. I was like, oh, okay. And we run back, and all of a sudden, Willie was up by 0.4 points on me. And then we rebound this game, and it turned out because they were too close to the end zone, Alex Smith decided to QB sneak it 3 yards forward, and thus winning Willie the week over me. And this wasn't the best time for me.
Incredible. Fantasy football.
Brings a smile on my face every time.
I'm sure. Like I said, fantasy football is a fickle bitch. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you sharing stories, sharing your input. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey guys,
hopefully we see each other in the playoffs, and maybe you can turn that season around for you.
Hey, I got my fourth running back after Bell is out, so I'm ready to roll. All right, guys, be well.
All right, thanks for talking, man.
All right, see ya.